south end. Two boats did collide with each other, and four different cockpit members ended up in the water.
Yep.
What do we know about that?
The crew from X Insurance, Golf and Gator, Michael Stancombe and JJ Turk. Michael texted with me, said that they're okay, and we just know that Reef Delanos and Ryan Stallman are getting additional medical treatment after they got thrown out of the Freebird boat, and we're just going to say we extend our best wishes and leave it at that until we get official word.
So that happened. They came into contact with each other. All four crew members ended up in the water. That led to the red flag and the early end to all the bracketed class racing here for the Truman Waterfront Cup. Now, here in Key West, we are naming world champions over 3 days of racing, but each day, winners are awarded championships here at the Outer Mole in front of the crowds. Today is the Truman Waterfront Championship, and we, of course, will be doing a podium later on after this race, and every race this afternoon here in front of the crowd out on the mall. And Friday is the Southernmost Continental Championship, and the Concord Public Offshore Championship is on Sunday. That award will be at the Coffee Butler Amphitheater on Sunday for the big awards ceremony where all of the world champions are crowned. All right, racing is getting about ready to get back underway, Eric. Let's go down the slot positions for both the Class 1 and the Mod Vs. Class 1 will run first.
Class 1, we have
10 laps, 45 miles, and 7 laps, just about 32 miles for the Mod Vs. Let's get the positions on the pole for Class 1.
Lane 1 is Monster Energy, Skater 438 with driver Myrick Coyle and owner throttleman Tyler Miller. Lane 2 is DeFalco, Billy Moore on the throttles, owner Mike Falco behind the wheel of the 48 Outer Limits. Lane 3 is Pothole Heroes, 49-foot victory, driver Carlos De Casada, who owns the boat, and John Tomlinson on throttles. 222 Offshore Australia occupies lane 4 with the current world champions, Australia's Darren Nicholson, and Italy's Giovanni Carpatella on the throttles. DF Young, 50-foot Mystic in lane 5 with Rich Wyatt and Hugh Fuller. And X Insurance, the 43 MTI, Randy Kent is driving, and Grant Bruggeman on the throttles.
All right, as we mentioned, an unusual situation for the UIM Class 1. By the way, they have awarded their world championship for their World Point Series, and that went to 222 Offshore, Australian Navy, Darren Nicholson and Giovanni Carpatella. A huge win for them. They've 222 has won an ex-cat World Championship previously, but normally they
this is the farthest outside they've been.
They've been a long way, and they surely didn't have to come defend their World Championship here. Kudos to them for coming, but of course the Class 1 teams, they generally have a qualifying run, and they set up who's on the pole based on who the fastest times in qualifying were. Here they did the draw, and you're going to 222 Offshore was either first or second on the position. Now they find themselves in the third slot. Let's look at the Mod V lineup here. Okay,
lane 1 we have Fast Boys, a 30-foot Phantom with driver Ken Bollinger and Forrest Riddle on throttles. Lane 2 is Stephen Furman and owner Steve Miklos in the El Bandito Sunprint Extreme. They are the current national champions. Lane 3, North Myrtle Beach RV Resort. Driver Kirk Hanna, throttles Mark Rinda. LSB, RevX, Hurricane of Awesomeness for all the guys who love that name. Driver Britt Lilly, throttles Jay Waltman. Boat floater Steve Kildall started down here in 1985, and he's throttling and his son's driving, Stephen Kildall. Lane 6, Challenger Japan with Hiromasa Suga from Japan driving and Tommy Madalena on the throttles. Lane 7 is Latacrete with, it's also sponsored by Team Woody. Chris Uzzolina's driving, Rob Hartman on the throttles. And Nick Imprescia and Ian Morgan, the kids transplanted from Long Island down to Fort Myers in the 32-foot Phantom, defending world champion 151 Express.
Orange smoke means the boats are going to soon come out of the mill and head up behind the pace boat and get started here in racing. We've got a lot of action coming your way this afternoon for the 42nd Annual Key West World Championships. Race World Offshore is your promoter, your producer, and this race is presented by Performance Boat Center. Special thanks also going out to Rab Beat Race World Offshore express our sincere gratitude to Rap Beats for joining us as a sponsor for Key West. Your steadfast support elevates our events to new heights, making them truly exceptional. Thank you for your invaluable contributions. Rap Beats, your Rap Beats Race Village is packed here today. Anytime you go walking through the pits, you'll see the Rap Beats signs.
I don't see them forming up quite yet. They're still milling. And in the world of powerboat racing, the is where the
was really run by the Victory team. They won 15 out of 23 championships after 1993. The complete reset that went on in 2021. Mostly Victory hulls around 47 feet, although there's an MTI and an outer limits. But they all run the Mercury Racing QC4V 1100 turbocharged engine. It's not checkbook racing anymore. Everybody is running Class 1 in a one design.
And
here today.
They are forming up. We still have a yellow flag you can see on the screen. I think we got green.
Yeah, we do.
No, we're yellow.
You were still yellow? We're still yellow.
They got a good line going. That's a good start.
Boats are
we got green. We got green.
All right, the race is on. Ale Beats.
Look at MCon going the inside lane.
And
rocket.
What we talk about, the little things getting ironed out now after they took care of the big things.
And I failed to mention skater. This is the first skater in Class 1 in forever. They run counterclockwise, so now the driver is on the outside. He has to get help from the throttle man when they come up to the pin.
Yep.
Nice turn on the inside by MCon.
And there's someone's right outside him on his hip. If that's lane 2, that's DeFalco, I believe.
It does look like the Mystic.
I'm trying to see in the binoculars. It looks like it is DeFalco.
Yeah, right, DeFalco's the outer limits, and then there's the Mystic right with him too.
All right, we're going to look back now. We're looking back at the Mod V start here.
And that's 151 Express right next to the pace boat. So they're actually the outermost lane.
8 boats.
Normally the pace boat would be on the inside and pull on the inside of the course, but down here they do it the other way around.
Here comes the V's.
And here they come. They're right up here on the screen for you.
We'll get the start. Yeah, we'll get this start nice. They're lined
still
up
yellow.
well.
Still yellow. Still yellow.
Waiting for them to get in position.
Let them go.
Drop it.
Release them.
Yeah. Well, there's someone in the back just coming out. That's Miklos in the Hooters El Bandito. They're coming up.
Everyone's crowding over there. They need to spread out. We got the whole harbor to start the race with, and they're all crowding together. Here we go.
There we go, Green.
Monster and 222 Offshore come back into the harbor. It's off camera on the live stream. Then X Insurance,
DF, and here's DeFalco and Pothole bringing up the rear. That's not something I expected.
Well, sorry to bring the excitement to you without the shot, but Monster Energy has the early lead here in Class 1.
And that didn't take long.
Not at all. Well, I mean, that's what happens when...
Oh, boat over.
We got a boat
over.
Boat.
Turn 3, big wreck down there. Looked like it looked like the X Insurance boat, but I couldn't tell. He was in the air pretty good.
Yeah,
X Insurance is over, and that is a boat that has been dealing with rudder issues, so you hope it's
one's out.
Nothing like that again.
There's one helmet.
Red flag situation. This race will have to be restarted, folks.
That turn is the most dangerous turn in offshore racing. That harbor turn 3. It is so sharp, and the water condition down there is so smooth that those boats just spin out and get in the air.
So Monster Energy had the lead. 222 Offshore was right on them.
Yep.
And then X Insurance, DF Young.
2 helmets.
And they red flagged it out of at the other end of the course, so all the V bottoms
got 2 guys moving. So
already have had 2 incidents in 2 different races here for the 42nd annual Key West World Championships. Both the Randy Kent and Grant Bruggeman are out, and one in the water. See a rescue driver standing up.
Is that a rescue driver, or is that one of them? It looks like he's wearing a helmet. I'm not going to say.
One's on the boat still, and looked like they're getting one on the.
I saw both helmets.
Yeah, there's one standing up right there.
So did you get a little bit of a view of that? You said they kind of caught air.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
were in the air when they flipped over. Yeah. I could see them above these people right here.
So our vantage point's a bit obscured.
Is that a hole in the side of their boat there? It looks like a hole in the side of their boat, too, right here.
Yeah, right up by the bow.
Yeah, it looks like somebody might have got into them or they got into someone else.
Goodness. Yes, damage too.
I'm just wondering.
That side of the boat.
Yeah, he's up in the bow, but.
I imagine they spun out and flipped it.
Well, if you start to, there's damage there, there's damage to somebody else as well.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen without, so you got to start wondering who it was and if they're going to be able to continue as well.
They all went to that turn together.
Yeah, they were.
So who do we see out here? We got MCon, we got
MCon 222.
MCon 222.
DeFalco right behind him.
DF Young, DeFalco.
Yeah, it looks like DF Young and DeFalco.
Oh, DF Young too. So.
You know, DeFalco did come through in that mix. I couldn't see them in the spray, so they were in with the other group.
So MCon.
But X Insurance, I believe, was running in third as they came by.
DF Young looks like it has some damage to the starboard sponson.
So where's Pothole is the question.
Yeah,
that's the only boat that I'm not.
That's DeFalco at the back of the end of there, for sure. Oh, you're down here, yeah.
Well, here's Pothole coming back up towards us.
Yeah, the Pothole Heroes is coming up in front of the Harbor Hotels.
They're headed straight to the pits. And you can see they're dumping some water out of that starboard rear pretty heavily on the screen here. You see.
Yep.
So
we'll see if we can get a shot of Pothole Heroes. They're heading into the pits.
Yeah.
Right now. If we can get a shot on Pothole Heroes as they head back in towards the cranes, get a better shot of them, that might tell us something. But everybody is coming back in. There's Pothole Heroes there, I believe. Is that? Yes.
022, yep.
Yep.
And there.
So that turn down there, when you come out of turn 2, it's really wide. I mean, it's a couple hundred yards from the turn buoy to the beach.
Yes.
And so the boats are all spread out, and then they all funnel down to turn 3 down here in the harbor.
Right.
And so as they're coming down side by side like that racing, and they all start squeezing in together, it just gets real messy.
Because there's 3 buoys coming into the harbor that the drivers have to keep all those buoys to their right to keep them off the seawall.
I don't remember those last year
That's
either.
when it starts funneling them down into a narrower chute heading into that turn 3.
Yeah, and it gets real skinny down there. And then, of course, it's that hairpin turn.
Yep.
And you're running the speeds they're running, 140, 150 coming into that thing, especially when there's competition like that.
Yep.
Everyone's still on the gas all the way to the turn, and so
yeah, first lap
just gets them in a bad situation.
The first lap, everyone's jacked up. They already been delayed.
That's Billy Shipley of Team Wood. He has experience here over the last several years running this course. And Eric Colby joins me from Speed on the Water. Joey Cook also from the Key West Citizen. We've had another incident in our second start of the day in Class 1. That's X Insurance. That's the 43-foot MTI that Randy Sism designed to a Class 1 World Championship for Team Abu Dhabi, with Johnny Tomlinson and Gary Ballou aboard that cockpit.
That's been there since
has it? Okay.
These little marks you're seeing on the front of DF Young were there in Clearwater. Remember we saw them?
Yeah, and I just walked through the pits and
I was like,
I
is
did
that
notice
a chunk?
that.
And it's not.
No.
Could have been them and Pothole Heroes.
It's a repair of some type, but it had been made.
Yeah, the rescue communication today must be on point, because this is 2 races where there's been accidents and everyone has stopped so fast. Look at this, the Mod V boats are still all together.
Yeah, they're lined up.
And no one ever stops for red flag that fast,
Yeah,
and so they must be communicating really well, which is a great job for the RWO team out here today.
Yep, they're just bringing the Mod V boats off plane back down to have them remill by the looks of it.
Yeah, they'll come remill.
They're going to try to, now they've got a rope on the X Insurance boat already, so with it being that close to the pits, I would imagine they're just going to bring it in upside down and right it when they get it in there, don't you think?
Yeah, they'll probably turn them over at the crane.
Yeah.
He's got quite a bit of water in there right now, it looks like, as low as it's setting, and so it'd be really hard to turn that thing over. I mean, they can do it, but,
right.
Like you said, the crane is really, really close here.
Yeah, get them right in there and get them squared away super quick.
Because especially if you try to roll that boat with where that hole is in the sponson now, you're going to drop that sponson in, and that's just going to suck a bunch of more water into the boat, won't it?
Yeah, it'll fill it up.
Yeah, Randy Kent and Grant Bruggeman, we saw both exit the boat. Unfortunate accident for them. My goodness, what a sight to see down there at the at the north end of the outer mole, and those that you were watching at the Harbor Hotels down by Margaritaville, Ocean Key House, and the Pier House. And this is
so you were watching them, Billy. You watched them go into the turn, and that's
yeah,
how
I
you
wasn't
picked it
watching
up.
the screen. I was actually watching the boats go into the turn, and that's when I saw that happen down there. You know, the screen, and when those boats go in, I wish these guys with these cameras would get on them and when they go into that first lap together like that, because there's a lot of stuff going on.
They're restarting in the same order once they get the scene cleared. So they'll.
I'm sure they're going to drag the ex-insurance boat and maybe into the center and go ahead and get these started, just because we're on a time restraints with the opening and closing this harbor today for business traffic, and.
Because what's the permit till 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably,
we still got 3 more.
Yeah.
Well, we got this one and 3 more to squeeze in.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot of racing.
Yeah.
Especially including Superstock.
Yeah, because we didn't get to kick off that second race.
If the breeze picks up, and they run so competitive into that harbor turn.
Well, think about that. You're kind of basing your setup of your boat based on what you did yesterday in testing at this time.
Mm-hmm.
As the day goes on, the winds can pick up. The tide's going to change too. Well, we're not in a slack tide now, but certainly not the tide running at its at its high peak, and add another hour or two and it changes the way you might have set your boat up.
When that tide starts coming back in and the wind keeps blowing out, it's going to cause a rougher condition on the water too, because the wind and the water be going in different directions, and it's going to kick up some waves, especially out there at turn 1 and turn 2.
Well, you think about it, coming in from this race, right? Myrick could be calling the Performance Boat Center crew saying, hey, put on smaller props.
Yeah, the S21 Superstock boat, right?
And Britt could call and say, hey, I think it's going to be bumpier than we thought for Dirty Money coming out of the V-bottom and getting in that boat. Joey and I talked about this earlier. Yeah. So there can be some strategy calls and advantages for the guys who are doing double and triple duty.
Absolutely.
At this point, though, what's going to happen again? Normally and typically, you have a chance for the seas just as calm in between the races a bit. There's going to be no time in between, so it's just going to get choppier, and choppier, and choppier, and the rest of the way, it's never going to calm again. Again, normally on Wednesdays you see it calm, then you get back on the course, and then it calms, and then you have an idea of what's going to be happening. With this having to go back to back to back to back, by the time we get to these Super Cats, we're going to see some big seas here. I have a feeling.
Out here.
A lot of rebound stuff is going to come off this wall, and like Joey said earlier, the rocks out at what's the fort?
Fort Zachary.
Yeah.
The rocks are interesting there.
So your tide was low at 12:30, which means as the day progresses, it's going to be streaming out.
They're towing in ex-insurance right now. Are they pulling it towards us, or looks like they're trying to get to the cranes?
Yeah, the tide's going to be coming in all day, and it'll be gaining some momentum as the day progresses.
Yeah, they're pulling him to the crane. They're on this side of the ferry boat, so they're not too far out.
Now you imagine what the people on that ferry boat saw on that Fury.
Yeah, they're right in front of them, man.
Well, that's why the thing's packed. That turn, you talked about that turn. That is the sharpest turn, Billy, in all of offshore power racing.
Absolutely. And like I said, when the water's really smooth like that, it's you can just skate around the thing. It's slippery down there. There's nothing really to stop your boat from spinning out in that type of water condition. When you got a rougher wave and you got 2 or 3 or 4 footers, the secondary wave is sometimes like a backstop, and it'll stop your boat from spinning, which we use in our fountain a lot because it skates around, and so we like to use that secondary wave just to slow us down from going around in a circle.
Well, remember that picture from those years ago of Ocean Spray up on the deck of that turnboat in Sarasota?
Yeah.
The Ocean Spray Scarab, not the fountain. But
all right.
And that was just a weird racing scenario with boats side by side and getting on each other's wakes.
They're hurrying these guys up now. You see them, they're planing up to get back there. So let's go, guys. Let's get in this milling circle and get this thing going.
Yeah, Race Control is putting the boats back in their milling circle. The start positions will remain the same. The first lap will not count, and the race will be reduced by 1 lap. So 9 laps for Class 1 and 6 laps for Mod V. All right, folks, we had our second incident. You're looking at the ex-insurance MTI. Grant Bruggeman and Randy Kent has gone over in front of the Harbor Hotels into turn number 3 and being towed back to the cranes. We're getting ready, as you can see in the background, 222 Offshore Australian Navy, getting ready to get into the mill. The Monster, boy, what a start for the Monster Energy 438 Skater. That boat has just been coming on after a slow start. Those guys Tyler Miller and Mark Coyle will tell you, coming from Supercat Racing with the naturally aspirated Supercat engines, getting into the turbocharged engine was a real learning curve for them, but they finally learned how to get that boat running.
And the BPMs and the rudder.
Absolutely, completely, and setting up the gear ratios. So the surface drive boats are limited to
that's
just 3 propellers. Yeah,
that's some good damage. They split the sponson right there.
Yeah.
But if you remember, fans of the Speed Racer boat, wasn't that Randy's boat when he used to run with? He ran that boat with Reggie Fountain III down here.
Yeah, and I believe that boat became a Performance Boat Center boat after that.
Yep. So
testament to the safety crews here and rescue, getting that boat back into the pits and getting it to the crane.
And a testament to Randy Sism and the work and effort he has put into developing that enclosed cockpit and that capsule in an offshore boat, because he's been one of the real leaders in making the boats safer when they do go over.
Yeah, and he pioneered the one for the 450, factory stock class.
Yep.
Those are very, very safe.
All right, folks, we're getting right back to action. So our Class 1 boats will start first. They'll get into a mill counterclockwise, and we'll do this all over again. 9 laps for Class 1 and 6 for Mod V. The 42nd Annual Key West World Championships presented by Performance Boat Center, a driving force behind our World Championship, and the World of Powerboats, the World Championship Powerboat home of the Performance Boat Center team. They won 3 World Championships, 2 in Supercat and 1 in Superstock. So we're just all waiting for an all clear from Angel 1 right now, and these boats will get up and get started. We also
how many flares do you think they have on that pace boat, Billy?
Hope they got a whole case in there.
Gonna find out. We'd also like to thank our official energy drink, Monster Energy. Unleash the thrill of offshore racing with Monster Energy, the official energy drink of offshore powerboat racing, and the official apparel, Tuna Skin. And Tuna Skin, the official apparel sponsor for the Race World Offshore World Championships. See them here on the mall and in the Race Village.
If you're a fan of offshore racing and you've been watching or attended Key West for many years, that Ajax Hawk boat has been down here starting these races, gosh, for how long now?
Do you remember, Joey, they'd had some historic start either last year or the year before. It was
100.
It was pretty crazy.
Start 100, yeah.
It was nuts. I know that.
So thank you for your dedication.
Absolutely.
They pull that thing all over the country too. They're in Michigan City, they're in St. Clair, they're here in Key West, and those guys are everywhere with that thing. And I talk to those guys a lot. They're super nice guys, and they really this is what they spend their life doing now.
I wonder what they're. I wonder how many repowers have they gone through?
Well, it went down on them, I think, Michigan City maybe. They lost the motor and they couldn't get it, so they missed that one. It may not have been Michigan City, but I know that they had a motor problem. Lake of the Ozarks maybe. I don't know. Anyway, they're always everywhere, and we love those guys. They do great starts on those boats, too. So that was 2 good starts there. I was impressed that the first race of the day, that start was it was something to see. All those guys got wedged up together, and they – Chad and I, when we're racing, and we start on this side of the Fury boat, closer to the wall, to give ourselves some space. And then these guys are just all wadding up together to get on that pace boat. If they need to spread out a little bit and get some distance in there, and then take off to that turn out there. But that was a really, really good 2 starts in that race.
Yeah, I mean, even with 8.
Just waiting for the transport boat to get back on the course. I think that might be our next delay. But everyone is eagerly awaiting to get going in what will be a action-packed, let's hope without a stoppage again, afternoon of racing here, because we still have 4 more races left to go here.
I'll tell you what, that Monster Energy boat, it looked like maybe he had a little more distance in his throttle slot in his boat there, because it might have gone a little farther forward than the rest of those guys. He took out of there like a rocket.
But if you watch the last
2-2-2 came.
It caught up to him, yep.
Because they got around, because they were outside of DeFalco and DF Young. 2-2-2 was.
That's who was on him in between turn 1 and 2, and we couldn't tell who it was because he was so close in his rooster tail.
That's right.
And it was 2-2-2. That's a fast boat, too.
Oh, it's a dominant boat. It's impressed me all year long, the 222 Offshore Australian Navy.
Yeah.
You just couldn't get them out of the top 2 spots.
That is a heck of a team right there as well.
We've got to go from race control, so we're expect these boats to be pulled up soon. they're just going to come out of the mill and get started. We've got to get racing here as daylight is burning and race permit is burning here for the 42nd Annual Key West World Championships, presented by Performance Boat Center. You're listening to live coverage on the Zone 97.7 Sports Radio. 97.7 Sports Radio from the Porte Performance Broadcast Center, and our live stream on Race World Offshore is brought to you by Maximum Inflation. Yellow flag here, boats coming back up. What an exciting start we had.
Yeah, so let's see him duplicate that start, because that was something. I mean,
man, they were all together to turn one. That was pretty good.
And the way the rooster tail on Monster MCon just laid down.
All right, folks, our Class 1 restart, 9 laps here.
I mean, think about how far Tyler Miller has come as a throttleman.
Absolutely. He's
usually the owner is the guy driving the boat and paying a throttleman.
And, I mean, they were rookies of the year the first year they were in Super Cat class, and they won the national championship to 2021.
Yep.
Right. Pace boats up.
Pace boats up.
So
still
we're
see
about
yellow,
ready to go
still
racing
see
for
yellow.
Class 1. We're looking for the
okay, we
Class
got a
1.
green flag.
Yeah, let's go racing again.
Here we go.
222's pulling down.
And now 222's on it. Here goes Giovanni.
DeFalco's looking strong too here.
Yeah, Billy's flying that. Look
yeah,
at
that's
on
a
the
madman.
restart, 222 Offshore with a crazy good start. Mad props to them.
Yeah, and they're still out in lane 4 by the looks of it. But Monster's pulling up on the inside of DeFalco.
Off your screen,
I'm
Monster
curious
is
to
looking.
see.
They've got the inside line. Keep that in mind. There they are.
Yep. And
But
Potholes is staying in. So.
222 Offshore got the best start.
Man, you can't count any of these guys out. You know, they went up to Sheboygan earlier in the year, and that DF Young put on a show.
Oh, yeah.
He came out of nowhere and just ran everybody down. So
And
all those guys
got bumpy up there. That's the advantages of a 50-foot boat.
Yeah, it's even powered. It's just prop selection, you know, and different brands of boats.
Right.
But every one of those teams are top notch,
Right,
and they all got a good crew. So
now looking back at our Mod V start, and hopefully we can get these guys off and going so we can look at our Class 1 boats when they come back into the harbor.
Plus, I think Rich Wyatt is an underrated throttleman because of the names he's up against. You know, he doesn't get the credit, I think. He's very good in there as well.
Yeah, they were really good in Sheboygan.
All right, awaiting our green flag for Mod V Racing.
There we go. Good line.
Took a long time to line them up last time.
Yeah, let's see what we got now.
There we go.
There we go.
We
green
got a green
flag.
flag.
LAV, the race is on. All right. We'll wait for the Class 1 boats to come down into the harbor. They'll be coming in front of us here very shortly. Good start.
Fast Boys. Sunprint is coming up. Bandito, LSB's
Better
out there.
start for the Sunprint El Bandito Tequila team.
Throw a rope across them. I'm not even going to call it.
Revex Oil Speed Marine right in the middle of things.
There ain't a single
All right, here comes our leader in Class 1. That's 222 Offshore.
Wow.
There you go. DF Young in second. Falco in third. Monster Energy in fourth. But all that can change in a heartbeat. Here we go into the turn 3.
All right, boys. Keep it upright.
The 222 Offshore, your leader in Class 1.
Looking on screen, it looks like Bandito Sunprint is out to the lead.
In Mod V.
In Mod V. And
so that's heading out towards what they call the wall at turn number 1.
Fast Boys is...
It won't take long for these Class 1 guys to catch the Mod V boats.
Yeah,
there's going to be some traffic in front of them.
There's going to be a concern if it all happens in the Key West Harbor turn, too.
All Class 1s are around the turn now.
Yep.
All right, so it's 222 Offshore.
Here we go, look at this turn.
And here we
look at that. The Mod V's coming
look at
across.
The Mod V's coming through there.
What a race going on out there in those Mod V's. They're all still right there together.
And in the light, I'm not even going to try to...
222 is checking out.
DF Young is not letting him fully stretch. Yeah, he looks good.
Has looked good in both starts. And so has DeFalco.
Real shame for the Monster back there, unfortunately, though, after that great start and the first time through. His second time, he's way back right now.
Yeah,
got some major
count
work
him
to
out
do.
yet. You know those guys.
I know, but again, it's a far cry from where he was at coming through that first lap to be sitting fourth all of a sudden.
Now the Mod V's are coming around for their first run into the harbor.
Right, so you're looking at turn number 2. It's a 2-pin turn down in front of Fort Zachary Taylor, now approaching the outer Mullet Truman Annex.
And it sure looks like
Sunprint.
That looks like Sunprint Bandito.
Like Sunprint, El Bandito Tequila. Your APBA National High Point champion, Stephen Furman and Steve Miklos.
But
in that 29 Extreme with a Scorpion engine.
Well, but
Love watching that boat run. They just run that thing to the edge every single time. All the guys do in this class. There's Lily right there next to him.
They just, yeah.
Revex Oil Speed Marine just a second behind.
Yep. And the Killdalls.
Boatfloater.com, Fast Boy, and Ladder Creek.
That Ladder Creek Team Woody boat coming through.
151's a little off the pace.
I'm glad to see the guys from Japan and Tommy Madalena back in town doing some racing.
Yep.
So 1 lap done in Mod V, still 5 to go.
I didn't see Myrtle Beach.
Here comes Triple Two Offshore.
Yeah, they're going to catch it. This will be interesting right here.
Yeah, going down to turn 3-2. Triple Two Offshore comes through. They're averaging just over 109 miles an hour after lap number 2. DF Young in second. DeFalco still holding on to third in the outer limits.
Monster's off the pace. Oh, now they're doing all right.
Monster running in fourth. Did we see if Pothole Heroes restarted?
No,
they went into the pits.
They did go in.
Yeah.
There today.
Well, I asked Steve Miklos about that, and he said the bottoms on all 3 generation extremes are basically the same. So there's no real design advantage from the waterline down.
They've all done their tricks on those bottoms,
Yeah.
Lily, and and I believe Scott Porte has worked on the bottom of the 51 boat, Sunprint. And then the Killdalls, of course, they've been working on that boat for a long time.
So Pothole Heroes did try to come back out on the course, but they were denied.
They had gone into the...
once they pulled out.
Once you go in, you can't...
You can't come back out. Mm-hmm. All right.
So let's see what happens here is Billy, you tell me visibility-wise, when you're in a boat coming in, going... I know you're not a Class 1 guy, but could a guy in a Class 1 boat lose track of a little 30-foot V-bottom at the wrong time?
Most of these guys, I've asked them, can you see me or did you see us?
Yeah.
They all say yes, Because
I asked Johnny Tomlinson beforehand, I asked Myrick, and I said, is this a concern? And they're like, nope.
No, it's not really.
Your reigning UIM Class 1 World Champion, Triple Two Offshore Australian Navy.
They are rolling.
Continuing to run about 105 miles an hour. DF Young continuing to hold on to second. And here comes your leader in Mod V. That's the Sunprint Hooters El Bandito Tequila team.
Yep, LSB is in second. Boat Floater still in third.
Yeah, like right here is where this gets interesting right here because they're all getting mixed up in this funnel that I was talking about.
And DeFalco just took the buoy on the wrong side.
Well,
so
he had to.
Yeah, they have to allow some leeway for that.
Yeah, he had to get around that Ladder Creek Team Woody boat, so he had to go inside that buoy. But hey, you know what? It's better to be safe than sorry there.
Yeah, so DeFalco holding third in Class 1, Monster
Right.
Energy holding fourth.
Nobody wants to commit a penalty right in front of the the refs here, but it's better to do that than take a risk of having an accident for sure.
Top 3 in Mod V continues to be Sunprint, LSB, and Boat Floater.
Yep. Now here's a question, Billy. You're DF Young. You know you're running second. It's the first day of 3 races. Do you let 222 check out knowing that you're...
You keep running like you're running right now. I mean, the fact is there's still 2 more boats behind you, so you just keep on running what you're running. If you catch them, fine. If you don't, you're in second. But, you're not going to try to destroy your stuff the first day, half points, half laps. And
you can't win the title on Wednesday, but you can make it harder to lose.
Yeah, and you hope they make a mistake in front of you or something breaks. I mean, you hate to hope that people break down or whatever, but it's racing, and we all have to win however we have to. But within reason. But yeah, Chad and I I'm not going to try to run down a guy that's that far ahead of me. We're just going to keep our pace and keep racing like we are. Because I don't want someone to get around me because we laid back 5 miles an hour, you know.
Because there is a big picture element to it.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to get the laps. You have to, there's also a time thing involved here with these guys. Time on course, laps on course, you know, positioning on course, all those things that go into at the final award show.
Well, I remember talking to Billy Moore one year in Cocoa Beach when they first kind of whipped everybody. And he said, I told Chris, just keep doing what you're doing. We're in a good rhythm. Everything feels good. Right. You're a good driver. So you also want to keep your driver confident, and you want to. So there's a lot of thinking that goes into this. I think that people don't realize.
Yeah, that's right. And Chad and I on the boat, he'll ask me, "What do you want to do?" You know, and I'm like, let's just stay where we're at and keep racing. Just don't let anybody pass us.
Here comes our overall leader in Class 1. Again, 222 Offshore, Australian Navy.
Can't say they don't know how to put on a show.
Boy, man.
After lap number 4.
Yep.
5 left.
D.F. Young.
They've led all the way. D.F. Young holding on to second.
I love the windshield on that boat, how it's so tiny and just all silver and then that little strip of black around it. It's a beautiful boat.
You know, no matter what, MCON had that nice start on that first time through, but you know what, the way the 222 set up here, I don't think anybody's holding off them today. He is dialed in.
DeFalco.
Billy Moore's got that thing running good. That's a madman on those throttles in that boat.
We're counting these laps for the local fans and for you as well. DeFalco and Monster Energy's just coming in front of us here at the broadcast.
DeFalco seems to be flying the nose a little better. It's not, it's not as glued down to the water. So Billy's found some improved balance there for sure.
Yeah, I think they've let him get in charge of setup on that boat and just kind of take the reins with it, and he's just trying out a bunch of different things to get it moving, and it's moving today.
Boy, these Mod V boats are running some heavy bounce.
Yeah, they're getting into the harbor. They're getting in that tunnel hole where that pipe is out there, and they get in the wrong spot, and it'll bounce you out.
Sunpreneurs continuing the lead, followed by LSP. RevX Oil, Speed Marine, BoatFloater.com. Another nice performance in here in Key West for the Killdolls.
There's Latta Creek and Ford. Hey, listen, you get on this live stream, you start talking about all these boats and drivers, and it sounds like you're taking favorites out here, but if everybody's listening to me, all these guys are my favorites and all these teams. I love watching every single one of them run these races. And
Latta Creek and Fast Boys.
Still get the same excitement as it did the first time I came down here 10 years ago.
Challenger just got fast. Now they're in 6th. Fast Boys in 5th.
They haven't been in that boat since 2019, that Challenger boat at Inglewood, Florida, in that water. They destroyed that thing and had to redo a bunch of stuff on it.
Looking at the 7
North
and 8
Myrtle
boats.
Beach
North Myrtle
coming
Beach.
through.
Yep. They'll be in 7th, and they got around 151 Express there.
Looks like LSB, Hurricane Awesome, is down in the harbor down here. Something happened.
LSB's off plane, so
that
just moved the Killdolls up into 2nd. Let's see how it plays out.
Looks a huge lead for Sunprint, too.
Yeah. It looks like they're out of the way, so everybody's still racing them. It wasn't an accident. They just maybe lost power.
And here you see Steve Kildahl, who's been down here since 1985 at the World Championships. And he's raced every race there's been in Sarasota, his hometown.
36 years, I think. I don't think he's ever going to quit.
And here's 222 again.
Overall average speed for 222 Offshore, about 107 miles an hour. Continuing the lead after lap number 6 of 9.
So that puts Miklos and Fairman in first place in the Sunprint boat. Yeah, puts Boat Floater in 2nd, and then now the relentless Latta Creek Team Woody boat in 3rd.
DF Young holding on to 2nd.
DF Young's looked really good today, but they're just a mere comparison to that 222. I mean.
And here comes DeFalco.
Still holding on to 3rd, and this is all off screen on the live stream, but for our local
watching
fans.
North Myrtle Beach, and these guys, you got to give them credit. They're out here every race.
Yeah, and also be aware too, the points today are half points racing. It's half points on Friday, so with 4 boats like that, you could be in last place today and you could win the World Championships on Sunday, you know. So you could last place today, 2nd place on Friday, and then 2nd or 3rd or 1st or whatever. The points are so weird how they work out.
I've been a couple of years, WHM, Billy Moffs knows it. He's gone second. I know twice over. He's not won a single race and won the World Championship.
Exactly.
Yeah, getting a look at your overall leader in Class 1, running at about 105 miles an hour on average here. It's 222 Offshore Australian Navy, 47-foot victory hull from 2008. Flying that by boat nice, got good lift, keeping it as level as they possibly can, and that nice chop out there towards the wall.
Yeah, they must love that water.
We raced against, well, not against, we were in the same race as the DF Young boat and Alex and Annie boat at Inglewood a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And in our fountain. And, man, when those guys pass you, when we're only going 95 or 100, they pass you really fast.
Looking at the Sunprint Hooters El Bandito Tequila team.
Look at that thing.
Continuing the lead, running flat smooth.
And they're gathering a bunch of data on shock and impact for
TMS Group.
Yep.
Keith Hubble came in and put a bunch of data collectors on the Miklos boat.
Okay, so
Here.
yep, LSB is out. They're being towed. So boat floater is now up in a second. They play the attrition game very well. And here comes Laticrete now, coming up onto the podium.
Getting a good look at your leader in Class 1.
And there's 222.
222 Offshore, Australian Navy.
The guys from Japan in fourth, running good. And the Challenger boat looking good.
Well, Tommy's no rookie.
No, he's not. That guy's crazy on the throttle too. When that 19 in Inglewood, man, they broke the motor out of the boat down there that year in that water. It was wild.
29 Extreme, Generation 2, Steve Miklos, Stephen Furman. Getting a good look at North Myrtle Beach.
Right in front of us.
They'll be running in a
sixth place there.
That was the Challenger that was on screen on the live stream.
I believe they've got a brand new LSB boat coming, don't they?
Yeah, and
they do.
I'll be curious to see who builds the engine. So you're looking at Miklos and Furman right now stretching out their lead. But I think they're just doing what we talked about before. They're just comfortable where they're at, and they're just not going to do anything. They're just holding position. They're not going to do anything to upend it, but they're not going to push it crazy either.
No, you want to break it for half points, you know.
So it's a nice position to be in if you're just in a rhythm and everything feels good.
222 Offshore, Australian Navy with the lead. Looks like the Falco may have come into an issue here.
Well, either that or they just slowed.
Trying to slow by the.
There's
the
Falco.
Yeah, looks like they're on one motor.
What's
that thing's blowing a big rooster tail behind it right now.
Yeah, but I don't know if they had to slow for little boats in the turn, and then now they're look at the rooster laying back down now.
That's what happened. They got in traffic in that turn and had to get out of the way.
They're laying it out again.
Better safe than sorry, guys. Good job down there.
But that happens once or twice. That Black Monster Energy boat isn't far behind them to step on the podium in the big picture.
So 3 laps left to go, or at least 2.5 for Class 1 and 2 for the Mod V boats out running.
If anybody can catch them, it's Tyler and Myrick.
So that, of course, that hindrance gives Monster Energy a chance to chase them down. Great shot down the barrel, the tunnel of 222 Offshore, Australian Navy. What an impressive season to this point by 222 Offshore, Australian Navy. Giovanni Carpatello from Italy and Darren Nicholson from Australia. Here they are in front of the crowd, in front of the Monster Energy fan zone. With 1 lap left to go, or excuse me, 2 laps left to go here in Key West. Here comes Sunprint Hooters behind them. They'll have 1 lap left to go after this one. Nice day for them. The El Bandito Tequila sponsored team.
Well, how cool must it be to be sponsored by the Royal Navy of a country?
Very cool, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is the glare. Here comes boat floater.
Yeah, definitely boat floater.
These guys gonna bounce around a lot right here. That towboat came back across and threw up a pretty good wave coming across here.
And let's see who
changed the direction of the water.
Should be Laticrete coming along third here.
It is.
Yep.
Laticrete.
And this is a kind of a reunion for this team in the boat.
That's right.
What is it? Travis Petco owns it, right?
Yeah, Travis is out of country on vacation, so.
Yeah, I did not see DF
I
Young
did not
come
either.
around.
Yes.
That puts DeFalco in second. Monster Energy now in third. DeFalco had been trailing 222 all the way. Has not come back around after lap number 5.
DF Young, you mean?
Excuse me, DF Young has not come back around after lap number 7, excuse me.
So I wonder where they are. Okay, here's this is North Myrtle Beach again.
Yeah, North Myrtle Beach. Continue to run about. You got them at 6, Joey?
I do have them at 6.
Yes. And looking back at your overall leader in the Mod B class, the Sunprint El Bandito Tequila team.
Is he racing with the Mod Bs or is he racing with the Class 1 guys?
Who, Sunprint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monster Energy, great shot of that 438 skater Peter Ledden worked on very proudly to get an entry into Class 1 for the first time in, I believe, decades. Tyler Miller and Myra Coyle up in 3rd in Class 1.
And you know what? DeFalco's not out of reach.
Just like that, they're on the podium.
Yep.
222 Offshore, one more time, and then one more after that, heading in for the
DF Young out there in the end.
Yeah, I think DF Young is out at turn 2 in between.
He's pulled off.
1 and 2.
Tough day for them, but 222 Offshore with 1 lap to go at the conclusion of this one to wrap up another win on this season.
A lot of attrition today already, all the classes.
Yeah. Turn 3's been quite the turn.
Class 2 boats, Class 3 boats, Class 5 boats,
I mean,
a lot of attrition.
just breaking down there.
Yeah.
The Hurricane of Awesomeness didn't even make it through. Nothing happened, just had a breakdown.
Justice League went down with the water hose break off, you know. I mean, MSR, they had some problems, had it caught on fire, actually. Mark Robbins' team.
Yeah,
so
I guess
it's been a tough day.
They told Damon told me they took on some water.
Yeah, on that start they got washed down.
And then they kept trying to restart it, and it was a wiring, something they kind of knew about, but hopefully they can get it for Friday.
You know, I'd rather go to the dentist than start a race behind those number 6 drives on some of those boats, because you take a pretty good bath if you're an open canopy boat and they get in front of you.
Oh, I remember when we used to race, when we raced Popra out in California, all the boats started at once.
Yeah.
So I was in an open cockpit boat behind an Arneson boat.
Just watched DeFalco come through. They continue to hold 2nd. Sunprint Hooters as well, cruising through. And now Imcon, they're running in 3rd. Podium finish for them here today.
Yeah, buddy.
That's Monster Energy. Podium finish for the Monster Energy team in Class 1.
Looks like DF Young's getting back on a plane back there, trying to get back on the back end of the course. Maybe they had a little Guardian problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're getting back in.
Here come the Killdalls. In good position. If they hold this spot, they'll be in great position.
It should be a checker for them. They run 1 less lap, so it should be checkers for these Mod Bs.
Checkers for the Mod Bs,
Yep, so that's the end of the race. The Killdalls turning into the center of the course.
Let's see if Latacrete holds for that podium for you.
Yep, so Sunprint Hooters, El Bandito Tequila takes 1st, but BoatFloater.com 2nd. And here comes Latacrete. They'll take 3rd here today.
I mean, with that Team Woody sticker on there, got to be getting a podium, right?
Well, hey.
We got a GNS team.
Look at that.
Challenger coming 4th.
Coming in 4th.
Very steady. That was the tortoise right there. Forget about the hares. He just did his thing.
Great story for the team from Japan. Fast Boys will take 5th. Half points today, half points on Friday, full points on Sunday. 3-day cumulative points championship in all of these classes. And here comes
the
222 Offshore Australian Navy. Class 1, what a show today. They've led from start to finish. And they'll be coming in for their checkered flag here for the Truman Waterfront Cup Championship. 222 Offshore, your Class 1 UIM winner here in Key West, day 1.
Those Fast Boys guys, they were thrashing yesterday trying to find a prop. Whenever they when their drive broke off at Clearwater, they destroyed their good prop. And, so they've been going. I don't know how many times they changed it yesterday, but they were working their butts off trying to get that thing right.
Yeah, Miklos is running a backup prop too.
Yeah.
So it's all over except for the top 3 finishing. See if in Class 1, see if DeFalco and Monster Energy continue to hold on to their podium finishes. And here comes setting it into the turn.
You got to get
a little bit of
points.
air there out by Fort Zachary. You can see the Monster Energy team right behind them.
Yep.
That's DeFalco. The outer limits. That's the best finish of the year for Mike Falco and Billy Moore.
Yep.
Here they come in the Monster Energy fan zone. They'll pass DeFalco that's back up and
Young
running.
is back up and running.
Yep, DeFalco passes DF Young, They'll finish 2nd. DF Young will head to the infield, and here comes Monster Energy taking 3rd.
There you go.
And if you're 222 Offshore Australia, Billy Moore's not the guy you want stalking you.
Yeah, them or Myrick and Tyler,
yeah,
or any guys in this class, man. That is everyone in that class is really, 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 really good at racing these boats, and you know, they spend countless hours of tuning and setups and everything else with their teams, and so it's pretty impressive to see these guys. I mean, you know, that first start was opposite direction of, you know, MCon Monster Energy in first place, then they were in fourth place, and then they're in third. You know, like I said, Sunday's the day, though. Count the points.
Yep.
Still waiting for some of the remaining Mod V boats to come back through. They may have just gone ahead and called the course. Some of them are pulling off and heading into the infield. So unofficially, your Monster Energy team does end up on the podium. DF Young ran into some issues and knocked them out of second. Of course, the whole Class 1 race got off to a bad start when X Insurance flipped over on the first start, but the second start went flawlessly, and 222 Offshore Australian Navy led all the way and led flag to flag, getting a first place finish in the 3 days of racing for 222 Offshore. Giovanni Carpatello from Italy and Darren Nicholson of Australia. Second place goes to Mike Falco and his Outer Limits, which finishes second here today. Mike Falco, 48 to Outer Limits with the Mercury Racing engines, and Billy Moore on the throttles. Third place goes to the 438 skater Monster Energy MCon, taking third here today with Tyler Miller and Myrick Coyle. Unofficially in Mod V class, it's Sunprint Hooters El Bandito Tequila first. Second place going to the boatfloater.com, 2 extreme hulls. Third place going to the team Latacrete Relentless, of course, co-sponsored by Team Woody's. Those guys got to be super happy, I imagine, Billy Shipley, huh?
Yeah, super happy in that boat.
Yeah. And next we've got the Factory 450 and the Extreme team, the JBS that's going to be running out there with them.
So then when are the V Extremes running?
They run with the Super Cats.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And they'll be like speed match boats too. So you know, they'll start Super Cats, I believe, and the V Extremes behind them, and they won't get a lot of traffic going on there for the most part. There's only how many V Extremes? There's 3 of them here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
how many Super Cats we got? 11.
Got 11 Super Cats, 3 V Extremes. And there'll be a lot of noise out there when.
Yeah, those tractor pipes on that fountain with the British flag on it are going to be something.
I can't wait to see Ryan Walker's photos from turn 1 down there when those Super Cats are all coming at him, 11 side by side, and even the Super Stock guys. There's what, 10 or 12 in those also.
Yep.
Live coverage of the 42nd annual Key West World Championships presented by Performance Boat Center on the Race World Offshore Facebook page. It's brought to you by Maximum Inflation. There you get a good look at the 222 Offshore Australian Navy team as they win the Class 1 World Championship here for this season on the UIM World Series, and they come to Key West in the first 3 days of racing for the RWO World Championship and get the first place win here today. And things looking good. So we're going to take a break from the Forte Performance Broadcast Center here on the Zone 97.7 Sports Radio. We thank you for joining us globally at the Race World Offshore Facebook page live stream, which is brought to you by Maximum Inflation. More coming up. Racing still to come all afternoon long. Our next start is Factory Stock 450R, and then the Extreme will be out there with them, the JBS team. Right after that, Super Stock, and we'll finish the day with Super Cat and the VX V-Bottoms. More coming up on the Zone 97.7 Sports Radio.
Take a walk down to 724 Duval Street to Bourbon Street Pub, Key West original Nolans-themed video bar featuring the Men of Bourbon Nightly, live VJs, live shows, 5 bars, the world-famous garden bar by the pool. Check out bourbonstpub.com for all the happenings. Also, check out the Nolans House right next door. It's the total entertainment package at Bourbon Street Pub. Play where you stay.
We've got the Keys, your local expert for celebration and event planning, specializing in creative incentive travel and one-of-a-kind events. We love Key West and proudly produce some of your favorite annual festivals, including Fantasy Fest, Taste of Key West, the Key West Songwriters Festival, and the Key Lime Festival. We've Got the Keys takes pride in gathering people together, creating fun and unforgettable events that showcase all that Key West has to offer. Go to we'vegotthekeys.com. Cheers to your next Key West event. Keys Auto Center is your hometown car dealership. Now with 2 locations at 1618 and 3500 North Roosevelt Boulevard in Key West. Same great staff with over 80 local employees ready to serve you. Keys Auto Center has every brand you can imagine. Chevys, Buicks, GMC trucks, Cadillacs, Corvettes, Nissans, Ford, Chryslers, Dodge, Jeep, Rams, and Toyotas. Go to KeysAutoCenter.com to see all that Keys Auto Center can do for you.
Key West Adventures, Jeep Rentals, and more at 3424 North Roosevelt Boulevard. You're probably wondering what the more is all about. Well, the more now includes boats. Beautiful Bennington 22 Tritoons provided brand new by Polaris, located at Real Impact Marina on Summerland Key. Rent them for as little as a half day or as long as a month. Key West Adventures will even deliver your boat wherever you need it. Go to KeyWestAdventures.com to take a look for yourself and check out the frequently asked questions for more details. Book your next adventure online at KeyWestAdventures.com.
And now we return to the 42nd Annual Race World Offshore Key West World Championships, presented by Performance Boat Center, live from the Porte Performance Broadcast Center on the Zone 97.7 Sports Radio.
Yeah, so we see boats coming back out of the milling, out of the crane area, and we're hearing from race control.